Namaste everyone.
Namaste.
Namaste Shivam. Namaste Anis. Namaste Anand.
Namaste.
Namaste.
We'll start our session. Both hands in Chin Mudra, spine straight. Close your eyes. Collect yourself, concentrate, focus on the breath. If you focus on deep breathings, your mind will be bound to concentrate. This is what is called pratyahara in Ashtanga. Pratyahara comes after deep breathings, naturally. Take deep breathings. Now concentrate your mind on your third eye. Third eye is the center of visualization, creativity, imagination, reasonings, logics. Now let us speak Om 3 times in the mantras. First Om 3 times together. Now clasp your hands. Follow the mantras. Om Vakatunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha.
Om Mahakaya
Surya Koti Samaprabha.
Samapraha.
Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada.
Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada.
Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu
Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu
Guru Devo Maheshwaraha.
Guru Deva Maheshwaraha.
Guru Sakshat Param Brahma.
Guru Sakshat Param Brahma.
Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
Om Yogi Chittasya Padena Vacham.
Om Yogena Chittasya Yadena Vacham.
Malam Sharirasya Chavaidikina.
Malam Sharirasya Chavachakena.
Yopa Karotam Pravarang Muninam.
Yoga Karotam Pravaram Muninam.
Patanjalim Pranjalirana
Patanjalim Pranjalirana
Tosmi.
Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchitananda Murtaye.
Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchitananda Murtaye.
Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase.
Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase.
Om Vande Gurunam Charanarvinde.
Om Vande Gurunam Charanarvinde.
Sandarshita Swatma Sukhavabodhe.
Samdarshitasvatmasakavabodhe
Nishreyase Jangalikayamane
Nishreyase Jangalakayamane
Sansar Hala Halmoh Shanti
Samsarahala Halamohashante
Abahu Purushakaram Shankachakra Sudharinam
Abahu Purashakaram Shankachakra Siddharinam
Sahasrashirsam Shvetam Pranamami Patanjalim.
Sahasrashrusam Svetam Pranamami Patanjalim.
Together once more, Shanti.
Shanti
Shanti.
Shanti Shanti.
Bow down, salute your teacher, all the teachers, and the divine in all names and forms. Good. Yes, first of all, thank you, Sandeep ji, for leading such a nice class. I was observing your class, and the way you taught was looking like your experienced one.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, welcome. Still, there are a lot of improvements needed, but yeah, actually, there is no end of improvement, you know.
Yeah.
We should not be content in our improvements. We should be
No.
content in everything, but not in improvements.
Yeah, I agree. Yes.
But that was very good, very good, very good.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Welcome, welcome. So now we will finish the philosophical part today. And there are only 2 chapters remaining into philosophy part. One is philosophy into practice. That is very small, a small chapter. And after that, there is Ayurveda. Okay. So first, let me tell you about something about philosophy into practice. Okay. So philosophy is very lofty and that is very attractive. But if you don't practice, then they are not useful. They are futile. Okay. We can carry very high philosophies in our lives, but in our actions, if you do not implement, then that will not change our lives. That will not bring any, transformation in our lives. So the philosophy was discovered to bring the revolutions or the changes in our visions, in our life actually, and that will result that a transformed life. Okay. So here you are learning yoga philosophy. There are 6 philosophies in India you have learned. Okay. Right. 6 philosophies. I had told you in the beginning. Do you remember 6 philosophies? Okay. Let me remind you. Nyaya. Nyaya is first. Nyaya. Vaisheshik. Mimamsa. Sankhya. Yoga and Vedanta. These are 6 philosophies. Okay. And every philosophy leads you to the divine or to the ultimate reality, or the goal of all philosophies is only single, and that is complete transformation of life. Or philosophy is a way to see the life, the nature, the truth, existence. That is called philosophy. Philosophy is a way to see, a paradigm. Okay. Everyone has philosophy. In India, there is one philosophy called Charvak philosophy. Charvak. Have you heard the Jorba? Jorba. in Greek. Okay, so he was also a philosopher, Jorba. You can Google. And in India, like him, actually in India, Charvak was a philosopher. Charvak, he was more older than the Jorba, and Charvak used to believe that yes, enjoy the life. That's it. Life is just this, enjoying the life. There is no God, there is nothing, no other goal. Just enjoy the life. That was his philosophy. So similarly, there are other philosophies. Every individual has philosophy towards life. And yoga philosophy teaches you that the goal is to get enlightenment, to awaken ourselves, and to re-establish ourselves into our divinity. That is the goal of yoga. Okay. Yoga chitta vritti nirodha is Patanjali Sutra. Yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Yoga is control of mind. And then Patanjali says, when your mind is controlled, then tada drashtu swarupi avasthanam. Means then a yogi is established in his or her own ultimate reality called divine. Swarupi avasthanam. Swarup is our real form, our real self. Avasthan is to establish. So when we control our mind, then we establish ourselves into our ultimate reality, our existence. Okay, so that is yoga philosophy. And here you have studied a lot of things about yoga philosophy, and also different yoga textbooks. Okay, like Patanjali's book and Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna's book. Okay, and Hatha Yoga Pradipika, written by Swatmaram, his book, and there are other books. Okay, Upanishads are also yoga books you studied, but all these books, uh, teachings, whatever teachings or the advices are found in these books, okay, they are supposed to implement in our life. So yoga philosophy, we should practice yoga philosophy in our life. And what is yoga philosophy? Yoga philosophy is practice, do some physical exercises. This is one philosophy. To keep your body healthy, you have to exercise every day. Exercise of different asanas, vinyasa, and different things. So this is one philosophy. Second philosophy is you should practice some pranayama for vitality. Okay, vitality, immunity. So through asana only you cannot develop the ultimate health or good health. So pranayama exercises, breathing exercises are also important. Okay, because that purifies our blood, that heals our body, at the same time that controls, that arrests the mind. Okay, so pranayama, after pranayama, next to pranayama is pratyahar. Pratyahar is withdrawal of senses. This is called pratyahar. Means you control all of your senses. You have mastery over your senses. Okay, so yoga teaches this, and then when you have mastery over your senses, then you achieve your goal very easily because you have concentrate mind. You focus everything very vigorously, and if you attack on any work with full energy, with full awareness, you finish that work in the beginning. 50% of the work is finished in the beginning only. If you have determination, if you have integration, then 50% journey you have already completed. Then rest of the journey becomes easier. Okay. So yoga teaches also meditate, practice meditation. And yoga teaches when you meditate, then you enter into the deeper layers of anything, be that your self, be that other self, be that nature, be that any mystery or any sutra. Okay, so this is yoga philosophy. Okay, now this chapter says bring this philosophy into practice. Okay, in your real life. So whatever you learn, you have to now demonstrate whether you have learned or not. That is why practicum is that. Practicum is whether you you said yes, 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 I understood, understood. But when you are demonstrating, then that will show your understanding. Okay, that will show your understanding. So bringing in practice is more important. So there is an author of book, that is, the book is uh, Philosophical Foundations of Adult Education. Okay. Philosophical Foundations of Adult Education. There are two authors, John L. Elias and Sharon B. Merriam. So this is very good. And they state that theory without practice leads to an empty idealism. Theory without practice leads to an empty idealism. And action without philosophical reflection leads to mindless activism. So both are required. Philosophy also required and our practical also required. Okay. And further, he has given four ways to make our philosophical area rich and ideal. Okay. And that is how we can gap the distance between the philosophy and practical. First, he says explanation. You should have explanation why you are teaching this, why you are practicing this. You should have the explanation. And through criticism, that should be criticized. Criticized is not bad censor. Criticize is you can see its pros and cons both. Okay, benefits and contraindications both. That is called criticism. Criticism doesn't see only the negative part or the contraindication, but also positive part, because these two coexist. Okay, these two coexist, positive and negative. This is what Sankhya Yoga believes. Sankhya Yoga is a philosophy, you know. Sankhya Yoga is a philosophy. Sankhya is a philosophy, and that believes that two opposite natures always coexist, and that is one is there for balance to other. Okay, one is there for a balance to other. So criticism is viewing both, viewing the importance of both. Okay, benefits as well as contraindications. Well, third is direction. There should be direction. There should be direction of what? Direction of the masters. You know, what are books? Books are their directions, their experiences. Okay, that's direction. And fourth is imagination. Imagination enables you to be creative. If you are imaginative, then you are very creative. So when you start teaching yoga, then you have to be very creative, not just to follow the same things. Like there is a frame, but there is scope to be creative in that frame. Okay. So like there are 4 groups, but in these 4 groups, you can add many things. You can go beyond the book also. And how you can be creative if you are imaginative, imagination. Okay. So these are 4 things which will make you more practical. Okay. And the bottom line of this chapter is why philosophy into practice is important, how that can be more prevalent is, let's see the last 2 bullet points. Okay. If you have these 2 questions answered, okay, then the purpose is very clear. Okay. These are 2 questions. One is what basic belief do I hold about the nature of education, and how strongly do I hold these beliefs? Okay. So this is related to philosophy. Means why we are doing, and what is this? If these 2 questions are answered, then you can be more effective in your practical hours. Clear? Yeah. Now, the 2.04 is Sanskrit, the language of yoga. Actually, in this chapter, there is this table, and this table has to be filled by yourself. This is homework. Okay. So in the first column, you have to write the Sanskrit word. Okay. Any Sanskrit word. Let me give you an example. Like there is word called chitta. Okay. So you'll write in chitta. Okay. Chitta. You can write in two ways. If you understand the script, Sanskrit script, you can write in Sanskrit script. If you cannot write Sanskrit script, then you can write in English, CHITTA. But second column is for pronunciation. You know, in dictionary, you may have seen the pronunciation also. Okay, in dictionary, you see the pronunciation. Is it clear? Clear? Yeah. And then third column is meaning. So in first column, you will write chitta, CHITTA. And in second column, you'll write CHI, and there are some marks. Okay, you can write there. And ta. You can write in that way. And then you will write the meaning. Meaning is mind. Okay. Similarly, you can select paribritta word, paribritta, and then meaning revolved. Okay. Similarly, there are other words. You have to find these words. You have to find these words from this manual book. Okay. And in that way, you can fill up this entire table. And next week, I would see this table, a screenshot of the table. Every one of you has to send me this full table filled with different words of Sanskrit. Okay. Well, let us move now to the next chapter. Ayurveda. Ayurveda is very interesting subject, and is an allied practice of yoga. So yoga is incomplete without Ayurveda. So in India, when we say yoga, then Ayurveda naturally comes. Okay. And let me tell you very important thing of Ayurveda. Actually, I will explain something different than written in this book, because this book will remain with you to study. You can study later on. But I would like to add some additional things in this chapter. So there are 4 things in Ayurveda. When we say Ayurveda, then there are 4 things. Please note down, or if you can remember. First is ahar. Okay. Ahar. I want to listen from Seun or Alice. What is the meaning of ahar?
Diet, yogic
Okay.
diet.
Great. Wow,
Diet.
appreciate your memory. Diet. Ahar is diet. Perfect. And this is also one of 6 keys, right? Yeah. So this is first essential part of Ayurveda, ahar. So if your diet is healthy, you'll be healthy. So first understand what Ayurveda is. Ayurveda is Ayur, Ayu, and Veda. Ayu means longevity. Ayu means the lifespan or the longevity. That is called Ayu. Clear? And Veda means the knowledge or the science. So the science of longevity or the science of long life is called Ayurveda. Okay. So yoga only will not give you the long life or healthy life, but Ayurveda. And these are 4 essential parts of Ayurveda. First is ahar. Clear? Second is vihar. Alice or Seun, can you tell me what is vihar? If no, no problem. Vihar. Okay. Okay. Vihar means dwelling place or residence, we call vihar, residing place, vihar.
Is that VIHAR or BIHAR?
V-I-H-A-R.
V.
Yeah, V. Like victory, in victory, okay? Victoria. So this
Victory.
V. Bihar, okay?
Bihar state.
Yeah. So Bihar state is named after that, Bihar.
Okay.
Because
Sorry,
Buddha,
say it again. The name is in English. The meaning in English again,
yeah,
please.
residing place, residence.
Okay.
Residence. Why Bihar is the name of that state? Because Buddha used to live there, Buddha. So where a yogi lives, that is called Bihar, okay? So there are a lot of places in Delhi also. Anand Vihar, Ashok Vihar, Vasant Vihar, these are Vihar. So Vihar means that, residing place. So first is Ahar, second is Vihar. So where you live, that dwelling place, your residence should be well ventilated. There should be ventilation. There should be spaces that should be spacious, not congested rooms or, and neat and clean. Sunlight should come in your house. So these are called ideal residing place. And you cannot enjoy best health without such kind of residential houses. Okay. So Ayurveda, Vihar, Ahar Vihar. And third is Vichar. Vichar? Vichar? Okay. Vichar is our thinking or thoughts. One of most valuable, actually, all the sayings of Buddha are valuable, but one of most valuable sayings or teachings of Buddha is all that we are is the result of what we have thought. Do you remember this line? All that we are is the result of what we have thought. So our lives are shaped with our thoughts. So if you think positive, you have better health, you live long. If you think negative or very nihilistic, destructive, toxic, then your life would be similar. Because our physical health is based on our mental health. So keep your mental factory very healthy, very ideal, positive. So Ahar, Vihar, Vichar is also important for our best health or longevity. And fourth is Vyavahar. Vyavahar.
Could you spell that, please, Yogi?
Yeah. Vyavahar is V-Y-A-V-H-A-R. Vyavahar. And Vyavahar means our behaviors, how we behave.
Sir, is that mentioned on the book?
No, that is not mentioned. Actually,
Okay.
Next version of the manual book, I will update all these things for these things. Okay. Yeah. Well, this book is already very thick, and I have to be concise. Yeah. But in our classes, we cover all these missing things. Okay. Yeah. So these are four fundamentals or four basics of Ayurveda. Clear? Ahar, Vihar, Vichar, Vyavahar. How we behave with others. And if you behave good with others, that means you behave with yourself in the same way. If you behave badly to others, that means you behave in the same way with yourselves also. If you are good to others, that means you are good to yourself as well. So this cannot be done that you could be good to others and bad for yourself, or you could be bad for others and good for yourself, or to your relatives. This is not possible. If you are good to the unacquainted people, then you will be good to your acquaintances also. So this is natural rules. Well, so these are four essential fundamentals. Now let us move into the subject topics of this chapter. So this entire chapter is based on these four things. Yeah. Now the theory of Ayurveda. There are three things. Ayurveda says there are three doshas. Doshas. Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. There are three doshas. And doshas means humor, or different elements of energy. So Vata is air, Pitta is fire, and Kapha is water. So there are three elements. Air elements in our bodies, water elements, and fire elements. And there should be balance between these three elements in our bodies. And if there is imbalance, then we cannot experience good health. If any of these three is imbalanced or exaggerated or in mass in our bodies, then our health will be bad. Okay. If Vata is dominant, that is also not good. If Pitta is dominant, that too is not good. Kapha is dominant, that too is not good. Okay. So these are certain energies: Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. Okay. And the Ayurvedic experts, they inquire you. They will ask you different questions just to know these things, whether these things are balanced in you or not. Okay. They will ask different questions. You may feel awkward. Why this doctor is asking these questions, irrelevant questions, but they are connected with your health. Okay. And based on your answers, your honest answers, Ayurvedic doctor will treat your ailments. Okay. Vata. Actually, Vata is responsible for our movements. Okay. Flexibility. So people who are predominant with Vata, they have quick mind, they are flexible, and they are creative. Vata dominant people. And these people understand any concept very quickly. They have greater understanding. Okay. And they are very alert. They are very active. So Vata people walk, talk, and think very fast, very quickly. They're very quick. They're very fast. Walk, talk, and think fastly. Okay. They have great willpower. They have actually, Vata dominant. And if they have Vata in in weaker part, then they have less willpower, they have less confidence, they have less boldness, and they have less tolerance also. Okay. So Ayurvedic doctors will guide you for diet, a specific diet, which will develop these things through diets. If you want to develop the Vata in you, then they will prescribe the different diets which will develop the Vata in your body. Okay.
Guruji, Vata is the abundance of air part in body.
Yes,
What
yes,
is it?
air parts, wind part.
And the person who has wind part in abundance, then it has a problem of, it has a gastric problem also.
Yeah, that is exaggerated vata.
That
Welcome
is
back, Alice. That is imbalanced vata, exaggerated, exaggerate. Exaggerate is in greater amount. So
okay.
if you eat gaseous foods, then vata would be dominant, and you will have gas and other things. Okay.
So how can we curb it by doing asanas? Which asan can balance that?
Only through asana you cannot balance the vata. You will have to be mindful in diet also. Diets,
Yes.
foods.
Yes. Uh,
Yeah.
okay.
So Ayurveda is
Fruits.
not only related to yoga. Ayurveda is related to your diet, more
Mhm.
with diet. And these four things, I think you did not listen that. Ahar,
Yes.
Vihar,
Yes. Well, I heard.
Ahar, Vihar, Vichar, Vyavahar.
Which are vivar.
All these affect your these three doshas, Vata, Pitta, and Kapha.
Okay.
And the residing place of Vata is our brains, okay, bones, ears, joints, skin, thighs, and colon. These places are the residing places of Vata. Vata lives in these areas. Okay.
Brain, joints.
Sorry.
Where Vata is resist?
Yeah. Vata resides in colon, the large intestine. Large intestine. Okay. That is why gas releases through that. Okay. Large intestine. Then our brains. That is why when you have Vata dominant, then you feel tension in your head. Okay. When you have gas, then you feel tension in your head also. Colon, brain, ears, bones. That is why see, you produce sound like this in fingers, like this. So these are the joints where vata lives. We crack this sound. So that is actually air. So the air lives in the joints also. Skin and thighs. And people who have vata dominant, they are susceptible to different diseases like uh, emphysema, pneumonia, and arthritis. And other problems, other ailments related to vata is flatulence, tics, twitches, aching joints, dry skin and hair, nerve disorders, constipation, and mental confusions. So these are the disorders of vata. Okay, and when one grows older, when he becomes older, then vata becomes dominant in old people. Okay, and the diet, Ayurvedic doctors advise the diets for vata. Okay, uh, to decrease vata, one should take warm, well cooked, and unaqueous foods. These foods, warm food, not stale, not cold food, and well cooked, not half cooked. These type of foods. Okay, and soup, stews. These are also good. Okay, and these foods should be avoided. Tomatoes, potatoes, eggplants, and peppers. Also spinach. This should be avoided if the Vata person has a stiff and aching joints or muscles. Okay. And fruit should always be eaten by itself on an empty stomach. because fruits should not be taken in full stomach. So the drying fruits like cranberries, pomegranates, and raw apples, this should be avoided by these people. And there are different guidelines for balancing the vata is. Please look in page number 399 if you have book. At the bottom of the page number 399, you can see keep warm, keep calm, avoid cold, frozen, or raw foods, avoid extreme cold, eat warm foods and spices, keep a regular routine, get plenty of rest. So by these remedies, one can balance the vata. Okay.
Yogi, 399 is asanas, Vashisht sequence, Bakasana.
Yes, yes.
Doesn't have
Maybe
anything related to
379?
Ayurveda.
Sorry.
379.
I think 379.
377 in my book.
Okay.
Bottom of 37.
I thought, my mistake. My
Okay.
mistake, Yogi.
Yeah. Now, pitta. So vata is over, right? Now pitta. Now understand pitta. What is pitta? Pitta is fire. Okay. Pitta is fire. And you know, the nature of fire is hot, penetrating, sharp, and exciting, agitating. That is the nature of pitta. So if pitta is dominant in any body, then that person is very fiery, very angry in nature, you know, and their metabolic is very fast, metabolic system, you know. They eat and digest the foods very well. So that is pitta, because of pitta. Okay. And pitta people are very sharply intelligent. They are very brilliant. Their intelligence are very sharp. They are short-tempered. Naturally, they are very angry type of people. Pitta are dominant people. Okay. And there are different signs of pitta dominance, like skin remains always warm, and they have wrinkles in their faces and skin, and their hairs remain very silky, you know, silky. Their eyes are of medium size. Noise is sharp, and the tip tends to be reddish. So these are the signs of pitta. And there are other signs also, like a strong metabolic system, good digestion, a strong appetites. Okay, these are the different natures of pitta dominance. And now the dietary considerations of pitta. Actually, the general guideline, food guideline for calming the pitta include avoiding sour, salty, and pungent foods, because these foods exaggerate the pitta. Sour, salty, and pungent foods. So vegetables or vegetarianism is good for pitta people. They should avoid non-veg foods, like meat, eggs, alcohol, salt. This should be avoided by these people. Vegetables should be their main part of the foods, vegetables. And tomatoes, radishes, chilies, garlic, and raw onion should be avoided if there is pitta dominant. Anything hot, anything fiery should be avoided. So that is dietary consideration for pitta. Now, the different guidelines for balancing the pitta is they should avoid excessive heat and excessive oil, excessive steam, and they should reduce the salt intake. Okay. They should eat cooling and non-spicy foods and exercise during the cooler part of the day, not during the midday, but either in the morning or in the evening. If you are sweating, your body is sweating too much, then that means you have pitta pradhan, you have pitta dominant. Okay, that is a pitta. Now kapha. Kapha is watery element, and that works like lubricant. So that there is energy of lubrication. Okay. So all the joints, kapha, all the joints are mobile or lubricated with kapha only. Okay. And kapha people, they love sweets. They are fond of sweets and the rice. Their skins are oily and smooth. And kapha people have obesity. They gain weight very easily, very quickly. Kapha people. And if they do exercises, then they lose the weight also. So they have tendency to gain the weight very easily and very quickly. They sleep a lot. They sleep long time. And their sleeping quality is deep. Kapha people. They have good weight in the body. Okay. And psychologically, they have very peaceful mind. They are very calm. They have good endurance, tolerance. They are very forgiving. They are very kind in their natures. Kapha people. Because they are lazy kind of people, so they are very lethargic. They are slightly slow in their actions. Kapha people. Okay. Psychologically, they have greed, they have enviness, they have attachment and possessiveness. So these are the nature of Kapha people. And dietary considerations. The Kapha people should take the invigorating foods. Okay. They should avoid dairy products and fat of any type of foods. They should avoid rice and carbohydrates. They should reduce carbohydrates. Okay, they should take vitamins, more vitamins and balanced protein, minerals. So these are the food dietary considerations. Okay.
Yogi Anand,
Yeah.
I have a question. So everyone has the three doshas in body, and then especially there is a dominant parts to every people. So like his Pitta is Vata, it's like that.
Yeah, actually, the nature is very vulnerable. The nature is very vulnerable. You cannot have complete balance. Nobody has complete balance in these three things. Sometimes Vata becomes dominant, sometimes Pitta, sometimes Kapha. But overall, there is prolonged accumulation or prolonged mass of the anything. that makes your nature. That makes your nature. Your food habit, okay, and your lifestyle, that matters. So by changing, by altering your lifestyle, your food habits, your sleeping habit, your different activities of life, you can manage these things.
So
Okay,
should I consider all of those 3 dietary things? Should I consider everything?
yeah. So one should, if you want to enjoy good health, then you should have balance between these 3 things. So you can identify yourself. You can ask yourself whether I'm lethargic, whether I love sweet, whether I sleep too much or less, or whether I speak very fast, I walk very fast, or my body remains very hot or very cool. Okay. So you can identify yourself in which category your health is. Either vata,
So watch
pitta, or kapha.
myself.
Yeah, you have to answer some questions, and you can, based on those answers, you can categorize into that. And if you find that this is dominant in you, then you should work on that. And you should be mindful, you should be very cautious. Like my body is kapha, so I am very cautious in these things. Okay. Like my wife's body is pitta pradha, so she's cautious in these things. So there is one dominance by genetically, in genetic or your lifestyle, your nature. Okay. But this is very challenging to change your pattern. It's very challenging. It's not easy.
Is it can be changed
Of
or
course,
genetic?
that can be
Okay.
changed. That can be changed.
Okay.
So your nature comes with your mind programmed. Okay, your DNA. But you can change with lifestyle, with conscious efforts. This is what is called discipline. Yoga is a kind of discipline, right? Ayurveda is also kind of discipline.
Okay, thank you. Very interesting.
Yogi Anand?
Yeah.
Is it possible that sometimes you have one is more dominant and then sometimes another one? I mean, I know you have one overall dominant, but like say for me, maybe pitta, but sometimes it would be vata. So then when one or other is becoming dominant, you should follow those dietary requirements to bring it back into balance. Is that possible? Is that right?
Yeah, that is possible. That happens because of your food, sometimes because of your foods, or sometimes because of the very hectic lifestyle you live, or sometimes when you get sick. So though you are kapha dominant, but when you get sick, the pitta becomes dominant. When you have fever, pitta becomes dominant. And for some time that remains dominant in you. When you have running nose, though you are pitta dominant, but when you have cold running nose, then kapha is dominant at that time. Okay, so that is why we get sick.
Thank you.
Welcome. So when you have running nose, then you should take warm water, warm things. When you have constipation or something like piles, not you, but if anybody has, see, these things, that means one has to be mindful in this, or one has to alter these foods. Okay, so kapha people, there are some guidelines, like they should do exercises, regular exercises. They should not avoid, they should not skip the exercise, physical exercise, either walking or yoga or any kind of other exercises. And they should avoid heavy foods and not full stomach. They should not eat full in the stomach. Okay. And they should keep very active, avoid dairy, icy foods or drinks. And they should vary routine, not the same routine every day. After some days, they should alter. Okay. Avoid fatty and oily foods. They should eat light and dry food, and they should not sleep during the daytime. So these are the three people, and then I have given the chart of foods. You can see the page number 407. 407.
I think maybe our page numbers are different, Yogi Anand.
Really? 407.
For me, that's about teaching. But there's a chart on page 387 about sattvic, tamasic, and rajasic foods. Is it this one?
Just a moment. Let me check. You are right.
I think in my book also 387.
387. Just a
Yeah,
moment.
387 talks about sattvic, tamasic, and rajasic food. There is a table.
Then I have different book. Page number 385. You have page number 385 or
387. 387.
387. What is 385?
385 is sattvic, tamasic, and rajasic food, but there's no table. Then the table is on page 387.
Okay. Please look at page number 385. Page number 385. I wanted to point the food, different food, sattvic, tamasic, and rajasic food. Okay. So I have given what is sattvic food and what are the benefits of sattvic food. Okay, and examples of sattvic food. Sattvic food means healthy foods. Okay, sattvic means healthy foods. And then tamasic food. So sattvic food are easily digestible. Sattvic foods are good for our health, and tamasic foods are opposite in nature of sattvic. Okay, they are not nutritious, they are poor in minerals and nutrients. They are starchy, stale, fermented, acidic. Okay, so these are tamasic, and they are disadvantages of tamasic food. Similarly, rajasic food. Rajasic foods come in between these two, tamasic and sattvic. That is mixture of these two. Rajasic food. You should go through deeply. Okay, and in bottom I have given the table. Okay, table that has categorized what are sattvic, tamasic, and rajasic, and you will find that sattvic food, all the vegetables are sattvic, and cow milk. So vegans have different belief, but yoga, Ayurveda has different belief. Okay, so that is the table.
Yogi Anand, how can I know what is my dosha? I have to study and watch myself, because just my
Yeah.
Indian friends just told me, "Oh, you are Vata." Definitely, I know, but I'm not sure. I don't know.
Yeah, based on the explanations and the symptoms I have explained and I have mentioned in the book, you can identify in which category you come based on your nature, food habits, and behaviors, and your lifestyle. So you can identify. Okay. So have your own study about yourself. because you know better than others. People cannot judge you. You can judge better yourself. Okay.
I'm so sorry. I just dropped off again. I've got some internet problems. Rajasic food. That's it's also bad for you, or it's okay?
Actually, tamasic food is believed not good for health as per Ayurveda.
And Rajasic?
Rajasic is okay. Rajasic is okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Thank
not
you.
best. And sattvic is best food. So all the yogis or the Ayurvedic followers, they take sattvic food. But if sattvic food is not available, then there is no option. Then Rajasic, and if Rajasic is also not available and no option, then Tamasic. Like at some places, they eat non-veg foods because there is not so much availability of veg foods. Okay. So based on their geography, based on their culture, there are different food habits. Well, any more questions from anybody?
You written in the page number 87, that is the dead food. What is dead food?
Yeah, actually dead food has different meanings. First meaning is when the living elements, when that becomes stale food. Stale is called dead food, or double cooked foods are called dead foods, or animal foods are also called dead foods. When you cook the animal foods, that is also called dead foods.
That means there is no vitamin or nothing in that.
Yes, absolutely correct. That is exhausted with nutrients. When you cook anything, even the vegetables, when you cook vegetables too much, the nutrients are burnt. If you take raw foods, that is more nutritious, raw foods. Okay.
And what about the earth? Like we have 5 space, air, fire, water, and earth.
Yeah. Actually, earth is, when we take any solid foods, that is part of earth, solid food.
Okay.
Any solidity, solid is earth. And a space, we already have a space. There are 5 elements, right?
Yeah.
Only 2 are missing, earth and space.
Yeah.
So the muscles, all the muscles, these solid things are made of the earth elements only. Content is made of earth.
The body is made of. Somewhere I heard that it's more than 70% of water.
Yes. Actually, that is the ratio of these elements. That is the ratio of water, air, and space, these things. But the muscles, the muscles you have, muscles are made of the foods, the hard foods you take. If you take soft foods, then you cannot gain muscles. To gain the muscles, you'll have to take fat or carbohydrates. Okay. So everything, all these things come from the earth. All the vegetables are grown from the earth. The grains are grown from the earth. So these are the transformed form of earth. And whatever we drink, liquid, that is part of water. And fire is what we gain from the sun, that is fire. We get from the sun, that is fire. or when you do some pranayama or exercises, we activate the fire in us. If you exercise too much, then you are pitta dominant. Alice, do you want to ask something? I think your internet is very slow. You can.
Yes, sorry.
You can
It's
switch
very
off your
poor today.
you can switch off your camera, then you can speak. Your audio can be, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I just wondered if you're having a day and you're feeling very like pitta dominant, should you avoid things like basrika? Because maybe then it will create too much fire.
Yes, yes, yes.
It's better to do anulom vilom or something like this.
Yeah, yeah. Right, right.
Okay.
So in yoga
Thank you.
also, there are some kriya, some practices which will activate the fire, or something which will activate the water, something which will activate the air. You know, so all the inversion asanas will activate the fire in you. That's why inversion asanas are not good for high blood pressure, hypertension, heartburn. Similarly, in pranayama, kapalbhati, bhasrika, these pranayamas should not be done by people who have pitta.
One more my personal question is,
Yeah.
I have a problem to increase my weight, even though I am not eating so much, but still weight always increase very fast.
So weight gain could be because of thyroid dysfunction also.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm feeling very well and all time energetic, and I not feel sleep, and active. I'm working hard all the time, not tired from mentally or body. I'm fit for everything.
Yeah,
Still.
yeah. I have seen you do yoga very nicely.
But the weight, and I'm doing exercise so much other than yoga as well. I'm walking like 8 kilometers or 7-9 kilometers every day. But I'm not eating so much as well now. Earlier I was eating, but presently I'm not eating so much. But still, weight is very hard to maintain. It goes very fast.
Have you checked your thyroid?
Okay.
Thyroid check.
How there is anything in yoga I can check?
With blood test. Blood test.
Okay, then.
You should have your blood tested for thyroid. And also there are many factors, and a physician only judges. Okay. Okay, so let us finish now, and because we'll have another session with the mantra. Yeah, both hands. Om Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam
Pajabhya
Yayena Margena Mahing Mahishaha Go Brahmanebhyah Shubhamastu Nityam Lokaha Samastaha Sukhino Bhavantu Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kashchit Dukh Bhag Bhave Om Shanti 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 Bow down, salute to your teacher, all the teachers and the divine. Okay. So your session will start at 1 p.m. Okay, Syam? Thank you. Namaste.
Okay.
Okay.